Happy Halloween, friends, and today is the epilogue of The Invisible Man. Yesterday was the final chapter, and this is the epilogue saying what happened after. So ends the story of the strange and evil experiments of the Invisible Man. As if you would learn more of him, you must go to a little inn near Port Stowe and talk to the landlord. The sign of the inn is an empty board, save for a hat and boots, and the name is the title of this story. The landlord is a short and corpulent little man with a nose of cylindrical proportion, wiry hair, and a sporadic rosiness of visage. Drink generally, drink generously, and he will tell you generously of all the things that happened to him after that time, and of how the lawyers tried to do him out of the treasure found upon him. When they found they could not prove whose money was which. I'm blessed, he said, if they didn't try to make me out of make me out a blooming treasure trove. Do I look like a treasure trove? And then a gentleman gave me genuine a gen a genia a night to tell the story at the Empire Music. All just tell 'em in my own words, bearing one. And if you want to cut off the flow of his reminiscences abruptly, you can always do so by asking if weren't three manuscript books and a story. He admits there were the proceeds to explain, with a with asseverations that everybody thinks he has 'em. But bless you, he hasn't. The invisible man, it was took 'em off to hide 'em. Where I cut and ran for Port Stowe, it's that Mr. Kemp put people on with the I with it's that Mr. Kemp put people on with the idea of my having 'em, and then he subsides into a pensive state, watching you fruitfully uh, bustle nervously with glasses, and presently leaving the bar. He's a bachelor man. His tastes were ever bachelor, and there were no womenfolk in the house. Outwardly he buttons it is expected of him, but in his more vital privacies, in the matter of braces for example, he still turns to string. He conducts his house without enterprise, but with uh, eminent decorum. His movements were slow, and he is a great thinker, but he has a reputation for wisdom and for a respectable parsimonium in the village, and his knowledge of the roads of the south of England would beat Cobbett. And on Sunday mornings, every Sunday morning, all the year round, while he is closed to the outer world, and every night after 10, he goes into this bar parlor bearing a glass of gin faintly tinged with water, and having placed this down, he locks the door and examines the blinds, and even looks under the table. And then, being satisfied of his solitude, he unlocks the cupboard and a box in the cupboard and a drawer in that box, and produces 3 volumes bound in brown leather, and places them solemnly in the middle of the table. The covers are weathered, torn, and tinged with an algal green, for once they sojourned in a ditch, and some of the pages have been washed blank by dirt water. The landlord sits down in the armchair, fills a long clay pipe, slowly gloating over the books the while. Then he pulls one towards him and opens it and begins to study it, turning over the leaves backwards and forward. His brows are knit and his lips move painfully. Hex little two up in the air, cross and a fiddle-dee-dee lord. What a one he was for intellect. Presently he relaxes and leans back, and blinks through his smoke across the room at things invisible to other eyes. Full of secrets, he says, wonderful secrets. Once I get the haul of them, Lord, I wouldn't do what I did. I just he pulls out his pipe. So he lapses into a dream, the undying, wonderful dream of his life. And though Kemp has finished unceasingly, and Aide has questioned closely, no human being save the landlord knows those books are there, with the subtle secret of the invisibility and a dozen other strange secrets written therein, and none other will know of them until he dies. And that's the end of The Invisible Man. I rate this book 8 out of 10. I think that the movie was a better adaptation just because I like the story of him slowly going mad over his being invisible because of what he created made him mad more than that he was just a madman to begin with. And I think that the first issue of the comic book is also really good, taking bits of the book story and the movie story and some of its own stuff. And so I rate this an 8 out of 10. So, friends, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow us on social media, Funky Brothers and Funky Play Brothers. And have a happy Halloween. Thank you for watching. Bye.